guys, Big John here. Thanks for joining in. Haven't had a chance to get out and about recently, what with work and life in general, as we all do. But I got to the point today where I had to get outside. Don't have enough time to go camping. Don't really have enough time to go and spend the day in the woods. I got a couple of hours. So luckily for me, I live a stone's throw away from the beautiful Pembrokeshire Coastal Path. That's actually Manabia Bay down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a couple of hours. I'm going to go for a walk up the hill there, over towards Swan Lake Bay, back round over the cliffs. I'm going to stop somewhere halfway, make myself a little brew as well, and take you guys along with me. Hope you enjoy. So first part of this walk is actually goes through the fields. There's public access, there's a footpath through the farmers' fields, and then what we do once we get to the end of that, we'll cut down into Swan Lake Bay and then go back over the cliffs there you can see in the background. But it's just it's not a long walk. It's about 2, maybe 3 miles. But it's a good one just to get out and about. Like, as I say, today I haven't got time to go camping or spend all day in the woods on a project or anything like that. So it's nice just to take a couple of hours and just go for a nice walk, just get outside, breathe in the fresh air. I'll be stuck in the house all day miserable because I can't go anywhere, do anything. So yes, this is just a lovely small circular walk, start and finish in the same place pretty much. Just a wee little tip for people. Obviously most people know it, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's my video. But you can see I'm taking my hat off. Now that I'm starting to get into the walk, I'm starting to warm up a little bit. I think it's very important to remember about layers. A lot of people come, they've got like a big puffy jacket or stuff like that. Think right, one that'll keep me warm. The only problem is, you come to certain environments and as I say, you'll get warm, but then of course you'll get too warm and you'll need to take it off. Well, if that one big jacket is the only layer you've got, then you're potentially opening yourself up to a whole load of trouble, because you're leaving yourself exposed to the elements. So always remember, go for layers, thin layers, create air pockets which warm up. If you get hot, take a couple of layers off. If you get cold, put a couple of layers on. That way you've always got something to protect you from the elements, and you can regulate your heat. So as I say, I had my hat on, got warm, so taking it off. When I stop later to make myself a brew, I know that I'm going to start to get a bit cold because I'll be sat still. So I'll put my hat back on. I've got my windproof coat to put over the top of this. I got my t-shirt on, and I've got another layer under my t-shirt. So if I get really, really hot, I can take a couple of those layers off and still have plenty to keep on, so they don't freeze. So yeah, just a little bit of advice to remember. Coming to the end of our walk through the fields and everything now. Coming up, if you can see it properly, onto Swan Lake Bay. So we're going to go down there now. Just go through the last gate. And there it is, so that's Swan Lake Bay. Over there, and we're going to drop down there now, gonna have a little brew, and then we're gonna head up that side then. So as we come down this little path here, you can start to see Swan Bay. That's where we're heading now. I'm gonna go down this path here, around and drop down, and then once we've had a little brew down there, we're going to go around the corner. Can't really see it now because there's big bushes in the way. As we go a little bit further, you can start to see where we're going to go. You can just see a path at the top there, which comes around and sort of down from this ledge all the way down to where we're going now. So that's our path afterwards. That's probably the most difficult part of the walk, which is quite steep, but it's only a short bit. The rest of it's fairly, as I say, fairly level. Go over the top and then just drop down the other side back down to Mount Beer. Here is where the truth of human nature rears its ugly face. The great downside of having a public footpath along this beautiful stretch coast and countryside: human refuse. All that crap just piled up. It's disgusting. I suppose the only one saving grace is that it's all in one pile and not scattered everywhere. But doesn't really make it better, does it? Pick up your litter, people. Take your rubbish with you. If you can bring it down, take it home. Okay, as per usual, I don't have a lot of battery left on my phone because I wasn't planning on coming out all day, this morning. It was an impromptu walk. I haven't charged my phone properly, so I'm just going to do a little bit now of show you where I am, what I'm going to do now, show you what kit I've got with me, because obviously it does differ slightly from when you're in the woods, and then I'll probably say goodbye because the battery will probably die out. So what I've got over here is a nice little dugout that the sea has made for me. Nice little sheltered area, which is where I tend to come when I come on this walk. It's nice and easy to get to, and of course you're covered from all the sides so you don't get all the wind, and over the top there as well. So what I've got in my bag, I've just pulled everything out quickly. So obviously you've got my rucksack in the back there. I've got my sit pad, which I have open in the back of my rucksack, so it goes up against my back, keeps everything nice and comfortable. I've got towards the top of my rucksack is my waterproof jacket and a pair of rain trousers. Tend not to use the rain trousers unless it's really coming down, but I do have them just in case. Also have a pair of gloves and a buff. That red thing underneath is a buff there, so if I do get cold, I can cover my neck, I can cover my hands, and obviously showed me earlier I've got my hat, which is in my pocket at the moment. What I have there is an emergency shelter. So as with going to the woods, I've always got a cover element with me. So obviously your clothes cover a lot of that, but then that emergency shelter then comes with me when I come around by the coast, because obviously there's no trees or anything that I can build a shelter from or tie a tarp to, so that's just a shelter you can sit down and put over the top of you. I do have a headlamp. I'm not going to need it, but it's always good to have with, because it's getting to the time of year now where it does get dark early. I've got my water bottle in there. I also have my canteen cup in there as well. So what I'm going to do in a little bit, you can see the gas bottle there, I'm going to boil up some water and make myself a hot chocolate. I've also got another buff in there, and a plastic bag for collecting water and filtering it, and then obviously I can boil it to make it safe. First aid kit there. It's not just a first aid kit, it's my Possibles pouch, so it does have a first aid element in there. I have a few bits and pieces, but then I've also got what I suppose you'd call a survival pack in there. So I've got a spare blade, I've got some cordage, I've got a cover element in there which is a foil blanket. I've got a couple of matches in there, a light, a flint and steel, sorry. So I've got, I can light the fire as well. And I've got some personal medications in there as well. So if I ever need those, and some like paracetamol, ibuprofen, that kind of stuff as well. Over this side, as I said, you can see the gas bottle there. In that little pouch there is the stove that goes on top. I've got my brew kit, so I've just got some hot chocolate there, my little cup. I do have a small knife with me. I keep that in my bag because I'm not in the woods. It's not something that I'm going to need a lot on the coastline, so I don't carry it on my belt. Carry it in my bag, especially because what with knife laws and everything, it's a lot easier to justify having it in the bag just in case than why I'm carrying it on my belt. And I got a little spork there as well. Got some granola bars so I can have a little snack. And what I do have there as well is a packet of porridge. Not going to need it today per se, but take it with me if anything does happen untoward and I do get stuck anywhere. I've got something warm I can eat that's going to give me a lot of energy, keep me going until I can get myself sorted or someone comes to find me. So that's basically everything I've got. Obviously I've got my layers on, I've got my jacket, my hat's in my pocket. But yeah, that's everything I bring when I go for a walk on the coastline. As I say, probably not going to have enough battery to show the return trip back to the car. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you hitting view. Please go down the bottom, leave a comment, press like, press subscribe, and then I can get some more videos up, and we'll see you again soon. Take care guys, bye.